I have my very Fun Cub out here. It certainly is a Fun Cub. I have been practicing with it since it had been so long, until recently, that I had this plane in the air. So let's see if it's paying off or not. I think I finally have it all trimmed out and set up again just the way I like it. Of course, you know, the more I fly these planes, the better I can get them tuned for the way that I like to fly. And I'll publish the updated setup and model files on our Facebook page. But let's get it in here. I don't have as much wind out here right now. When I first got out here, it was 5 to 8. And so I was flying it in 5 to 8. At least that's what it was on the ground. I don't know what it was, you know, 20 or 30 feet up. But seemed to handle it pretty well. You know, especially for as light as I fly it. And as light as the wing loading is. It's just awesome handling bush plane. And I don't have a lot of experience with it yet. I don't know how many flights I've got on it, but it can't be more than 30, 35 flights. That would be my guess. So most of my experience is with park jets, not with bush planes. But man, this is an awesome bush plane. I just have a blast with it. So maneuverable. It's graceful, I think, in the air. Well, as graceful as I can make it with my skill level, but you know, compared to other planes I've flown, I think it really looks graceful in the air. Been practicing doing coordinated turns with it. You know, I don't I don't fly a lot of planes where you've got to use much rudder or rudder at all. You know, most of what I fly is bank and yank stuff. So it takes a while to get used to making coordinated turns with a rudder. I'm getting a little better at it. My split S maneuvers with it so far lead a lot to be desired, but love those stall turns. Just a very forgiving, stable bush plane. And now that I've got it all lined out as best as I can get it with my experience and my flying skill, I will try to set aside time to get flaps on this thing, because it'll definitely be a STOL plane with flaps on it. Very, very, I think, short area for takeoffs and landings. Of course, I still won't be taking off out here with it, but it'll be nice to be able to come in really, really slow for landings and just kind of float it in. I think I've only got a couple of planes where I actually have flaps on them. And I think both of those are sport gliders. But man, are they a help? Are they a help, especially coming in for a landing? Doesn't that look graceful in the air? Look at that. I think it looks so graceful. The only thing that I have flown that I thought, you know, doing maneuvers, it looked as graceful as this one is the Yak 54 Aerobatic 3D plane that I have. You know, because it has a ton of power and it's very light and it has extremely light wing loading. And one thing that always amazed me about 3D planes was, you know, when you get some practice with them, you can do extremely graceful maneuvers with it. It almost looks like it's performing the maneuvers in slow motion. And so this bush plane kind of reminds me of that. It almost seems like you're doing it, because, you know, that wasn't much speed on that loop. It almost seems like it's doing it in slow motion. But man, what a blast. I absolutely love this bush plane. Okay, so I'm getting my haptic. Let's do another circuit so I can check both directions here and make sure nobody's coming. Okay, it looks like we are free and clear to navigate. Bring it back around and land it. There we go. I'm just floating it in. Wow, see? I mean, even I can do a decent landing with this plane. and when I put flaps on it, it's going to be even easier. So, anyway, I want to put another battery pack in it and get a little more practice on it. I'm getting a lot more comfortable flying it now. Hopefully it won't be so long, you know, in between flight sessions with this plane, but I've been so busy with other projects, it's been really, really neglected. So anyway, let's put another battery pack in it and get some more practice on it. It's an awesome plane and I really enjoy flying it. Launching. As you know, the more time that I get on a plane, the better I can tune it out. And from time to time, I will update my setup and my model files. I think I have this plane handling pretty well now, better than I did before, now that I've got some more practice time on it. Plenty of power, very maneuverable. Nice slow flight capability. A little more expo in the ailerons to get a little smoother control on it, because I do have big movements. That's the loops I remember and loved. Stall turns I remember and love. Just an awesome play. Isn't that awesome? It's the funnest Fun Cub around, I have to say. I have one of my 3S 1500 milliamp hour Lipos in it. I like the way it feels with that 125 gram Lipo. Get lots and lots of flight time out of it with that Lipo. Isn't that awesome? Awesome plane. The only problem that I have with this plane is getting out of the throttle. That's the only problem I have. I know I mentioned it before, but I am just amazed at how much power that 2212 1400 kV motor and that 9x5 prop produce. It's absolutely outstanding. It's very graceful, you know. It has such light wing loading and so much power. You can do maneuvers with it very gracefully, as graceful as I can. And believe me, I don't have a lot of experience flying bush planes at all. Matter of fact, this is the only larger bush plane that I've ever had, and I don't know how many flights I've got on it. Not a lot. 30, maybe 30, 35 flights on this plane. And isn't that awesome slow flight capability as well? I love it. I'm so glad I got this plane. Just turns on a dime, doesn't it? Look at that. That is so sweet. Isn't that graceful? You don't have to, muscle through the maneuvers. You don't need a lot of speed because of the amount of power it has to do maneuvers. I think it's awesome. This was a kit. So links to the Lipos that I use, links to the kit, links to the servos, the motor, the ESC, everything will be in the show notes. But awesome plane. Look at that. And that was a pretty tight loop there. Okay, so my timer has elapsed, so I guess I should think about bringing it in. Even the stall turns look graceful, and believe me, I am not real good at stall turns. Okay. Let's see if we can bring it in for a landing. A little bit of a crosswind, a little bit of a crosswind. We always seem to have a crosswind here. Just a little bit. and down the bank. Okay. So what do you guys think of the way this thing flies? I think it's absolutely awesome. And so now that I have it flying better tuned to the way that I like to fly it, I'll be publishing my setup and model files on our Facebook page, OpenTX model file, so you can import it if you want to. And when I do get flaps put on it, I will publish that model file and setup file as well. So I'm going to put one more flight on it today and film it, but now you have all the information that you need. Don't forget, everything is listed in the show notes, and that it's, you know, pretty inexpensive stuff. You know, my total build cost on this was pretty inexpensive for what you get. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.